thought I'd been rid of this
Here we
duty
go.
a long time ago. But
Welcome, President
fasten your
Flamini.
seatbelts. This could be a quick meeting.
All right.
Now,
Let's hope so. Please, God.
all right. Yeah, I know people are praying now.
Hey, no pressure on me. Pressure's off. Short response.
Okay, we've met in executive session. I'm going to start tonight with President's report.
Yeah.
Go call the
Call
roll.
roll.
Yeah, not everybody's here either.
Flamini,
Yeah, he's here.
Thunderbird, Hanley,
Here.
Johnson,
Here.
Lopez,
Here.
Moore.
Here.
That is 6 present.
Okay, we have two requests to speak tonight, and that happens at the end of the meeting, the public comment time. Public comments on published agenda items will occur during the public comments portion of the meeting. If you're interested in addressing the board, fill out one of the required public participation board meetings forms and submit it to Mrs. Mitchell in the front row. Okay? Now, start with the president's comments. I guess that's me tonight. This has been a while. Things seem to be going well. I know there's been some controversy, and I know at a most recent basketball game that occurred in Jacksonville, and I don't know if we'll have to deal with that tonight or not. But other comments related to my report will be very abbreviated. They're done. Okay. Now, board salutes. Do we have any?
Yes.
Okay.
I had an opportunity to stop in at Isles Middle School. They had their Chinese night, and they had food for everybody. And then they had a program and different grade levels sang and did different performances. It was a packed house, truly a packed house. So, yeah, it's too bad we don't have more parking over there. And I also went to Fighton's and read to I read to two different classes, a 5th grade class and a kindergarten. And I had a lot of fun. This year was really it was good. The 5th grade teacher, whose name I should have written down, I didn't. She was active in the discussions that we had in the classroom. And the kindergartners were really right on top of everything that was going on. Miss Mitchell was with me in the kindergarten class. And I had a lot of fun. I really, really had a nice time reading. We had discussion about careers and about the people they knew. And there was one little girl in the kindergarten class, and I asked her, I asked the class, did they know about Dr. Martin Luther King? And this little girl was almost insulted that I would ask such a question. Of course she knew. And but we had a great time. They're always they were super talkative this time and really good participants in both classrooms. But I had a great time at Fighton's and read and lost my keys, but I found them. And I think that's and of course I've been to basketball, and of course I was at the Jacksonville game, and of course I saw some more horrible refereeing. It was just, this time, it was just absolutely insane. This one little joker, and I'm referring to the ref, he literally stared at one of the players. I mean, he's like when you get super mad, so mad that you can't hardly restrain yourself. As the kid was walking back to the bench, he was staring at him, and he was just shaking his hand. I can't say what I really want to say, but he's horrible, just horrible. So, something has got to be done about the way these reps are assigned. And I think that the majority of the kids on the Jacksonville team are Caucasian. The majority of the kids on Lanphier are black. Well, every daggone time, probably even tonight, at our game tonight, we have 3 white reps for the varsity game. I don't know why we can't get a little diversity going somewhere. These people have got to realize that they are affecting the children's lives. When they try to get in the head, it's bad enough when you're playing a game and you're trying to get in the other person's head and do other things. But for an adult to do that to a kid it's disgraceful. It's just disgraceful. And if you really, really want to know how I feel, ask me afterwards, because I could tell you with a few expletives. It was horrible. It was absolutely horrible. And it's not about, it's got to be fairness. It's not about the win or the lose. Everybody there suffers some defeat in life. But it's the way that defeat comes about.
Any other board salutes?
Yeah, I have a couple. I'd first like to wish all of our all of our district wrestlers who qualified for the IHSA state meet this weekend best of luck. We had 2 young men from Springfield High School who won their sectional, and one young man is a freshman. And he has a very impressive record, Mr. Stewart. He's done very well. And then I'd like to tip my cap to the Lady Senators for winning a share of the Central State 8 title.
I have a couple. I wanted to salute the SHS Scarlet Line. They qualified for the state finals, which were held last Saturday. They danced and performed beautifully. They had great success at some recent competitions where they won the Spirit Award. They had a single member selected as a rising star, and they're having some good success. Then my second one is for you. I had a couple of club facilitators who attended the event at City Tournament, and they spoke of how well-spoken and poised and on top of everything you were, and they just wanted to tell me, since I get to interact with you every couple of Mondays, what a good job you had done. So totally unsolicited and very positive. Thank you. You're welcome.
I don't have a salute, but I have an interesting comment. I have granddaughters who live in Pittsfield, which is not the end of the earth, but you can see it from there. They were involved in a state contest for drill teams, and the convention center Saturday night was just full. I've never seen anything like it in my life. And all these girls, I'm telling you, boys, you better wake up. They're going to take over everything. And they were, and my God, she's very cute too. So,
All right, that's good.
so just wanted to tell you that. I'd never seen anything like it in my life. Just a ton of people. Old business. Is there any old business? Oh, no. New business.
I did have a question. I don't know if you
Yes.
want this during your report. Mrs. Gill, I sent you a note this week. As you know, we've had a number of discipline matters brought to us. In my short time on the board, this would seem to be a record month. I would just like some feedback from you on what kind of trends we're seeing and what are the supports that we have in place at the school to try to mitigate some of these situations. I think all of us would agree, we don't agree on much, but all of us would agree that expulsions is the hardest thing we do. And I just personally hate to see so many in 1 month. So that's my thought for today. If you could provide us, not on
I
the
can.
spot here, but.
No, I totally understand. Thank you.
Anyone else?
Just to piggyback on what Lisa said about these discipline problems, when you bring it to a report, some solutions that you might be looking at. Sure. In order to help resolve some of these things.
Got it. Thank you.
Okay,
Student.
student business. Diamond, do you
Alright.
have a report for us?
Yes, I do.
Good.
We held the student roundtable meeting. It was February 3rd, the first Wednesday in February. We discussed the Unity event and what went well, what we would change. We also planned the high school event visit, which is next Wednesday, February 24th, at all three of the high schools. And after that, we will regroup here in the boardroom to discuss the day and all the visits, followed by a roundtable meeting that will be that next Wednesday, March 2nd. Also, at Southeast, I talked to Mr. Nguyen, and we decided that it would be a good idea to have a Black History Month Spirit Week for February 22nd to the 26th to highlight Black History Month. Well, Monday will be dress like your favorite African American singer, wear head wraps, and just head hats in general. Dress in the colors of the African American flag. Dress business casual, and also wear our blue and gold as on Friday, like we usually do.
They may be leading up to a special basketball game, Mrs. Johnson.
But at least that would be a good example of school spirit, which
It is.
I don't think we show enough of in our schools in Springfield.
It's
We need
exciting.
Well, treasurer's report.
Mr. Basco?
Vice President Flamini, members of the board, the district ended the month of January 2016 with a cash balance of $18,292,000 in the bank for all funds. Interest rates for the month averaged 0.204%. Earned interest for the month was $7,043. Interest year-to-date totaled $46,505. Schedule of investments is also attached to your report. A total of $14.3 million is currently invested.
How much are we owed by the state?
Still the 3.2.
3.2.
That's current,
Correct.
with other payments yet to come.
Yes, correct.
Well, superintendent's report.
All right, I have some shout outs as well, just to share, and a few updates for the board. I really enjoyed hosting 1450 last week with Sam Adonia show and being there very early in the morning, but getting to highlight some of the programs and allowing for our students to really shine. So thanks to all of those who came on air with me, and thanks to 1450 for giving me the opportunity to share what were some of the great things that we're doing here in Springfield. Also wanted to give a shout out to First United Methodist Church, happens to be the church that I attend. They donated some personal care packages to the school district that we can pass out to students as needs might arise. It was our done in a Sunday kind of activity where they kind of pack them up as we leave the church, and then they donated those back to the school district, and it was over 1,000 different individual bags, and we were able to share those. So thank you, Ms. Mitchell, for helping pick them up and getting them out to our schools. I certainly appreciate that. Also wanted to give a shout out to Southeast High School graduate Herb McMath. You may have seen in the paper and online, member of the 1976 Oakland Raiders Super Bowl championship team. He visited the school and presented a golden football commemorating the 50th anniversary of the Super Bowl as a part of the NFL Super Bowl High School Honor Roll Recognition Program. And as a result of this visit, the school is actually eligible now for a grant up to $5,000 that they're working and writing for because he named them one of these on the honor roll. So very thankful for him. It was great to have him back in the school. Shout out to Sandburg Elementary School. They did a huge service project during the week of Valentine's Day last week, and they made Valentines for all of the senior citizens, for a number of senior citizens in our community. I was over there and got to read some of the letters. They're priceless. Really, you can't make them up, what they write, and they're from the heart, and they really spend a lot of time. They've been doing this for several years. Also give a shout out to Franklin Middle School Falcons math count team. They had a very successful regional win, and now they're moving on to the state competition. Our CS8 boys swim team from Springfield High School, many of them, or a group of them, are headed to sectionals this week at Edwardsville, so we wish them luck as well. We have been, you mentioned several in your shout-outs, but many African American History Month activities that are happening throughout the community and throughout our schools. One that I want to shout out that's going to happen this Saturday is Jefferson Middle School is hoping a red carpet event over at Showplace 8 to see the movie Race, which is like the Jesse Owens story, and it's got a lot of great actors in it. They got a great deal from the movie theater, so people can attend for $5. It includes popcorn. You want to get there about 12:30 if you want to attend. We wanted to extend that invitation to all the board members if you wish to attend. Each family will come and get that special admission price and snack price. The first 70 students are going to even receive a free goodie bag that was provided by Showplace 8. So that's another event. And then I wanted just a minute, I know, Ms. Baker, you don't have the microphone down your way, but can you just give a shout out real quick for Disabilities to Possibility that's happening this Saturday as well? Oh, you do have one there. Okay.
So this is our 8th annual Disabilities to Possibilities Conference, and it's taking place at Southeast High School. The doors open at 8 o'clock for registration, and it's from 8 until 12 noon. So soon after that, then you could head over to the movies. But we're very happy to say that we have a jam-packed morning. There's a variety of different breakout sessions on things from behavior to advocacy, and just different topics that we think will be of interest and learning for everyone. It's open to the public, and we welcome all of you.
That's great. All right, just a couple updates for you on the horizon. I was able to, on Monday, yesterday, go and be a part of a press conference, which was designed to talk about higher education funding. I know that I live in the pre-K through 12th grade world, but everything that we've been doing in our years of with the students is preparing them for that next step, for that college step. And some of the things that are happening with their complete budget being frozen and them not receiving any money is becoming a devastating situation for our Illinois state colleges. And these group of people, a very thoughtful group of people that came together, we did so out at UIS with Chancellor Cook, but it wasn't just for UIS's benefit. It was to really speak out for all of the Illinois colleges. I know my alma mater, Eastern Illinois, is struggling greatly, as well as many others. There's, Chicago State is threatened to have to maybe not make payroll coming up, and so it's getting to a dire situation. And in addition, many of our students can qualify for the monetary award program called MAP for those who maybe can't afford college. We have over 125,000 MAP grants across the state of Illinois that are not being paid right now. And so, I asked Mr. Basco, we're feeling the crunch of $3.2 million not coming in, but we are fortunate that it was funded to the 92% level this year, and we have to remember that the education system goes into college as well for our students. And the danger of that is that students start looking outside of Illinois to go to college, and in my family as well. But it's just one of those things that we want to make sure that Illinois is a viable place for people to stay and go to school and be able to then want to return back to our hometowns because we have a viable education system in our community. And just at when you look at higher education in general in the state of Illinois, it's an economic engine as well. And I think one of the key points that was made, and several of the reporters were in the room as well, that if we had a business that said they were getting ready to leave Illinois and they employed 175,000 people in our state, we would do everything we could to keep them. And that's exactly what our higher education system does with employees. And not only are they employing people, but they're educating people who want to stay and be employed within our state. So I was proud to stand alongside them, and they also speak for us and help us in our fight to make sure that educational funding is where it is. Along those lines, Diamond and I have an opportunity tomorrow. We're going to be able to attend the budget address. We were invited by the governor's office by Beth Purvis, and so it's going to be an interesting experience, I think. I'd like to say that I'm not I have no idea what to expect, but it'll be interesting. So we'll be there with each other to listen to what a budget address with no budget. So it's interesting.
Better be careful.
Be careful, that's what she said. All right, a couple other things from the state, just as points of reference. The SAT is now going to be the college entrance exam. We've given you some updates on that throughout the year. However, without the budget, we don't know if that would be paid for this year or not. We'll just keep you informed. That's kind of where we are. We know that SAT will have the bid as we move into the future. A couple of things that are interesting about this, and it kind of goes to speak to your question earlier about how we're preparing students for a college entrance exam. Students will always have the opportunity to take ACT. They'll have to pay for it on their own, and there are some scholarship programs that will be making sure we get out there for students who might need that and be aware of those. But SAT will be the test that we give once a year to measure our college readiness against other schools. Once again, we don't know exactly what is happening this year. We have signed a contract with ACT for this year so that we know we are going to give a test, but we don't know what's going to happen. We're going to be very, Ms. Morris and I are going to be listening to the stuff, so we know when the last date is for ACT and all of those kind of things, and whether or not we'll have to give SAT this year. We don't think with the timing that's in place that will be even possible. So we're glad that we've gone ahead and signed a contract with ACT for this year, so we don't have any gap in year where somebody isn't provided an entrance exam. A couple things about the SAT, just for you to know briefly. The scale is going to be completely different. It's a brand-new assessment starting in March, so we aren't going to be able to say, in 1987, I took the SAT and I got this, and then compare it to my son's and feel less smart or smarter than. It's a completely different scale. It used to be 600 to 2,400. Now it's going to be 400 to 1,600. In the past, SAT used to give you a penalty if you guessed an answer wrong. There's no penalties any longer. It'll be similar to ACT where there's 4 answer choices instead of 5. There will be an essay section, but it'll be optional, much like ACT. Vocabulary is going to be, enhanced with this new test and more aligned with what we're doing within our curriculums. Calculators are going to be permitted only in some of the math sections, so I don't know if that's a departure, but that was a highlight that they wanted people to know. Interestingly enough, it aligns quite well with the PSAT, which is offered in October, and that identifies our National Merit Scholars. It'll be aligned with the new SAT, so now the PSAT might give us something more data than just who's got the national merit. And it might give a little bit more bang for having it align with SAT. That's a positive. College Board is the same company that creates the AP assessments if you take an AP course. So we're wondering if that won't also be an alignment piece that will be helpful. It's just something we don't know too much about in the schools, but the interesting thing is that there is going to be free online test prep that's interactive for students that will give them feedback to prepare for the assessments. We're very excited about that and are interested to get online in March when it comes live so we can see what that has to do, how we might be able to use that in our classrooms on a regular basis so that students have that. And then there are also free webinars out there. Counselors and deans are going to be signed up to take those so that we can get more and more information about this transition. It was very, very, surprising to us that ACT didn't win the bid, and so now we're moving forward with our work in the high schools to be prepared for that. Any question on that? Because I know you had some questions before.
Yeah, so I guess my prior inquiry is now a little broader. If you would just give us some options for how can
Right.
we, because I understand, I hear what you say, and I've had 4 high schoolers, and telling a kid that you've got this free online thing that you can do instead of playing video games.
I bought the videos
Total
and
loser.
yeah, I know.
So I
especially
want to
with
hear what can
my
we do
son.
during the
I get it.
school day
Right.
that will engage kids.
We have, Mrs. Boozer and I have been already doing some research on that about how other schools might be doing it, and we've also been in conversations with Ms. Morrison with the deans about how we can schedule things to have that be a part of it. We're excited about the free online test prep though, and the interactiveness of it where they actually give you the answers right there and you you can see what you did wrong and how to move forward is interesting. And it's built through the Khan Academy, which I don't know if many of you have heard about. So it's got a nice portal. Last but not least, not a long conversation, I've given you many written notifications about this, and it was a nice article by Mr. Neville in the paper about the QSCB bonds, that we were not a recipient of the ability to sell those bonds. So I want to clarify a couple things, and that is one, that it had nothing to do with the quality of the grant that we wrote to get this. It was just the fact of the matter that they did a numerical equity score for all of the 179 districts that were considered priority one. We came in 49th, which I thought was a pretty high score. I thought top 50 might be pretty good. However, they only funded the top 29 schools. Mr. Neville, you did a good job of kind of going back and forth. I think I was a little frustrated that they offered the full amount to every district in those top 29s, and many of them asked for the full 50 million. We only asked for 16 million. We knew that's exactly where our debt service could allow us to be and still allow us to have some flexibility with our debt. We asked for frugally, but I mean, when a bunch of schools north of I-80 take over 200 million and they only have 500 million to give, and there are $2 million asked for by the schools overall, you can first of all see the great need that we have for construction improvements across the state, and you can understand that I'm not quite sure and understand how it was figured, but then we have 20 spots between us now, so within the next 18 months, all the districts who received the ability to sell those bonds have to sell what they asked for. So if they don't sell up to 50 million, then that'll free up some of that money. However, there's 200 million ahead of us, right? So it's going to be hard to get that. It would have been a great opportunity for us to get some projects taken care of interest-free with selling those bonds. But just so you all know, it doesn't mean life is lost. We have those projects outlined. We want to make sure that we're improving our buildings, and we can do so. Some of the projects with health, life, safety bonds that we'll look to sell within maybe 6 to 9 months. We're waiting for our health, life, safety survey to come back from the architects. Is there anything else that Mr. Basco or Mr. Shaver, you've been intricately involved with this as well as I, so.
No, you covered it all. It was a good opportunity to try to get that low to no interest funding. It's unfortunate. Just want to say that what we asked for wasn't out of line of what everyone else who was in that first grouping received for work. So our scope of works were similar to their project, so that was good to see also.
Yeah, and you've done a lot of time analyzing that. I appreciate your time for that.
All of this reminds me that if I had a senior student in a high school in Springfield this year, applying for college, I'd be a little concerned about the state of Illinois and those colleges. Your alma mater is mine, and they've got real problems.
It's never good when you get a letter in the,
Yep.
it says, we are going to be open next semester. That's a frustrating thing for parents. It's
But they didn't say anything
concerning.
about next year, did they?
No,
So,
semester to semester. All right, that's all I have. I do just want to, I know we have some guest speakers on this, and to your point, the Springfield Public Schools do not hire the IHSA refs. We have a scheduler that supports the Central State 8 in our region, and that person does schedule those refs, and anytime we have a concern, there is a process for appeal and also a process for complaint, and we have informed Lanphier High School of this process, and it's underway. So, I just wanted to kind of point that out, that we agree with some of the hiring practices that you talked about, and we have made ourselves and our voice quite clear on that, so we'll continue to do so.
yes, there is something we can do.
All right, I think we, just to move on, turn it
Okay.
over to consent action items?
Consent action items?
Okay. President Flamini and members of the board, I recommend approval of the consent action items 8.2 through 8.6 as described in the corresponding resolution.
So moved.
Second.
Questions?
Any discussion, or,
I'm over my time limit.
Yeah.
Okay.
any discussion? or-
Any discussion? Well,
Julie?
call it.
Funderburg.
Aye.
Hanley.
Aye.
Johnson.
Aye.
Lopez.
Aye.
Moore.
Aye.
Flamini.
Aye.
That is 6 aye votes.
Okay, we'll move on to Mrs. Sherman for our personnel recommendations.
President Flamini and members of the board, the superintendent recommends adoption of the personnel recommendations as presented.
So moved.
Second.
Any questions or comments? If no?
Hanley,
Aye.
Johnson,
Aye.
Lopez,
Aye.
Moore,
Aye.
Flamini,
Aye.
Thunderbird.
Aye.
That is 6 aye votes.
Okay, we'll turn it over to Mr. Basco for approval of the resolution to amend the FY16 budget.
President Flamini, members of the board, the superintendent recommends approval of the following resolution. Now therefore be it resolved to accept the school district's tentative amended budget for fiscal year 2016, and be it further resolved, this tentative amended budget be made available for public inspection in the school district's offices located at 1900 West Monroe, Springfield, Illinois, for a period not less than 30 days beginning in the 4th day of March 2016, and be it further resolved that the secretary of the board is directed to cause proper and legal notice of the availability of the tentative amended budget for the inspection to be published, and be it further resolved that the public hearing on the tentative amended budget be established for 6:30 p.m. on April 4th, 2016, and be it further resolved that at any time during this period of examination, the tentative amended budget that is on file might be further revised or amended.
So moved.
Moved and
Second.
second. Okay. Any questions or comments? No?
Johnson,
Aye.
Lopez,
Aye.
Moore,
Aye.
Flamini,
Aye.
Thunderbird,
Aye.
Hanley.
Aye.
That is 6 aye votes.
Am I right, Mr. Basco, you'll give a little report on the March 8th
On the
board
March 8th,
meeting?
we'll have a
Right,
summary on
because
that.
we'll start it on Friday. We'll submit it to all of you, and then on March 8th, you'll give a report. Thank you for that. Also want to turn it over to Mr. Basco for approval of resolution regarding our farm lease that we have.
President Flamini, members of the board, the superintendent recommends adoption of the following resolution. Now therefore it be it resolved that the superintendent is hereby authorized and directed to enter into a farm lease of such unimproved property with A.B. Mendenhall Trust for a term commencing effective March 1, 2016, and ending February 28, 2017, at a cash rental price of $310 per acre.
To clarify that just a little bit, where's the location?
It's on,
It's been, we've had this forever, I know.
right, property on Cokie Mill Road
Okay.
by Lindsay School.
It's the last piece we have, isn't it? In that area.
In that area.
Mobile High School.
No,
Don't start that.
don't start that.
You wanted to get out of here early. What are you doing? I know.
You'll be here not till next week. Okay.
Okay, so, question, is there an increase in the amount of acreage lease?
It is the same as last year.
We increased last year.
It did go up $10 last year.
I think you need to move on the motion.
It-
Pardon?
yeah.
We have to have movement on
I'm
the
sorry.
motion.
Do we have
So moved.
some?
Second.
Second.
Second, Mr. Hanley. Any discussion?
She was asking.
Okay.
Lopez,
Aye.
Moore,
Aye.
Flamini,
Aye.
Thunderbird,
Aye.
Hanley,
Aye.
Johnson.
Aye.
That is 6 aye votes.
Okay, we're going to turn it over to Mr. Basco for approval of the resolution for a bank line of credit.
President Flamini, members of the board, the superintendent recommends approval of the following resolution. Now therefore be resolved that the superintendent is hereby authorized and directed to enter into an agreement with United Community Bank, finalizing the line of credit for $20 million at a rate of 2.99% for a term beginning February 16th, 2016 through June 30, 2017.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Second.
Discussion?
You said that's with UCB?
Yes.
Okay. Moore,
Aye.
Flamini,
Aye.
Thunderbird,
Aye.
Hanley,
No.
Johnson,
Aye.
Lopez.
Aye.
That is 6 aye votes, or 5 aye votes and 1 no vote. Motion carries.
Okay, and I have the expulsion recommendations here for discipline, number 9.5. President Flamini and members of the board, it is my recommendation that one 10th grade student be hereby expelled from further attendance at Southeast High School through the end of the first semester of the 2016-17 school year without a program, and that one 10th grade student be hereby expelled from further attendance at Southeast High School through the end of the 2016-17 school year without a program, that one 9th grade student be hereby expelled from further attendance at Southeast High School through the end of the 2016-17 school year with a program, and that one 9th grade student be hereby expelled from further attendance at Southeast High School through the end of the 2015-16 school year with a program, that one 9th grade student be hereby expelled from further attendance at Southeast High School through the end of the 2016-17 school year without a program, and that one 9th grade student be hereby expelled from further attendance at Lanphier High School through the end of the first semester of the 2016-17 school year with a program, and last, that two 8th grade students be hereby expelled from further attendance at Washington Middle School through the end of the 2015-16 school year with a program.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion?
Flamini?
Aye.
Thunderbird?
Aye.
Handley?
Aye.
Johnson?
Aye.
Lopez?
Aye.
Moore?
Aye.
That is 6 aye votes.
I need to see if a couple of people are here that filled out the public participation, and I don't think they are because there's a game going on. William Bishop and Yakima Rose. Nope. Okay.
I know that one was a parent of a student, both of them were
Both are
parents of
parents of
of students in the district, and was able to talk to a friend in the audience, and that was around the ref situation and their deep level of concern about what happened at the game. Thank you.
Well, I guess that's it. Next regular meeting, March 8th,
3 weeks, guys.
3 weeks.
Good job, Mr. Flamini.
Well, I'm glad it's over.
Did a great job.
But it's faster.
did good.
You're over the time, so just like.
Much faster.
It is much faster.